Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. This is a double upload day, so there will be a video coming later tonight. Make sure you guys are here for that, where we go a little bit more into the news. There's already been a couple of things that I know I'm going to discuss later. One of them is Ecuador. You're probably thinking, Ecuador? Why have we got to talk about Ecuador? Well, Chelsea have two players that play for Ecuador, Caicedo and Kendry Páez. And Kendry Páez has been in the news. So we're going to get into all that tonight. Make sure you guys are here and make sure you've got that notification bell on to be notified when that video does go live tonight. But we're going to start off with the video that I said I was going to do this international break. The international break is going to come to an end very soon. And it's only right that to use up some of the time, we go over this whole Conor Gallagher saga. Why? Because the Chelsea fan base is split. It's quite 50-50 from the way that I'm looking at it. You got some that want him to stay and some that want him to go. We're going to dissect and try and bring some sort of understanding for both sides, because I feel like both are being very, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not being very open to at least dialogue to understand the other side. Because I feel like there's valid points on both. But how do Chelsea move forward? What should Chelsea do? I'm going to dissect. We're going to try and get everything into some sort of understanding and then get onto the same page, basically. So let's get into the news and see exactly what's happened in regards to Conor Gallagher today, and then we will dissect and build up the consensus. So let's get into it. Here it is. Conor Gallagher wants to discuss a new contract at Chelsea, but the club want to take their time to understand the situation with Gallagher and the cost of his contract in the context of financial fair play. That has come from Fabrizio Romano. He goes on to say, let's see what Chelsea will decide. I think it's more on the club now, because Gallagher wants to stay and has never created any problem for the club, even when there was interest from Tottenham last summer. He has always been professional and respectful, so let's see how Chelsea will act. It's actually quite a surprise that Fabrizio is coming out saying this, because this is legit. This is the case. You know, I honestly thought Fabrizio might take the route of Chelsea might sell Gallagher. There's going to be bids coming in. Gallagher's going to be maybe open because contract talks have stalled. There's nothing happening. Like, maybe go down that route. But no, he has said exactly how it is. And it is that Gallagher wants to stay. We know this. Gallagher wants to stay at Chelsea. This is part and parcel why one side want him to stay. I'll get to that. But the truth of the matter, before we dissect into what Conor Gallagher brings as a player, right? Or some would say doesn't bring. We'll get into that. The truth of the matter is, Chelsea are actively trying to sell the player to get pure profit. Simple as that. FFP. That's it. Now, this is where it becomes an issue. Because we had this saga with Mason Mount, didn't we? Now, you see with Mason, much like with Conor, this is where we get into the discussion. Fans on one side will say that let him go when he's not good enough. Let him go. He's not good enough. Simple as that. Simple as that. If he's not good enough, let him go. Right? Simple. And I got to be honest, that's the sort of route that I took with Mason Mount. Now, why did I take that route down with Mason Mount? Because I genuinely believed, and still till now, do not see him as a complete player or an established player or someone that is got every single box ticked. No, I think there's still room for improvement, 100%. However, another reason as to why I said, yeah, let Mason Mount go and take the money, because it's a lot of money. Albeit, we've not seen Mason Mount for Manchester United properly yet. He's just come back from injury. So I feel like we've got to be fair here. We've even got to see, what is he going to do at United? He might actually explode and become a top player. He might, who knows? But he might not. But the fact that we let him go and we got that much money was where I was saying, cool. Let's upgrade now. Let's take that money and upgrade. Can we honestly say that we've upgraded on Mason Mount? As of right now, can we honestly say that? No. We can try and say we bought Enzo and we bought Caicedo, and on paper, because of the values, it looks like an upgrade. But in terms of output and what this team has done so far, have we actually seen a legit upgrade? No, we haven't. So this is where on this front now with Conor Gallagher, I'm coming with caution. And there's a second point that we've got to understand here. The ones that are saying, keep Gallagher, I don't think are saying keep Gallagher because he's an amazing player. I feel like you got to be a little bit disingenuous if you're going to come out here and say, oh, Conor Gallagher is incredible. Like, let's be honest here, right? But what he brings is what some Chelsea fans resonate with. And what some Chelsea fans see is lacking at this club. And what some Chelsea fans are saying they cannot connect with. What is that? Conor Gallagher is a Chelsea boy. Conor Gallagher came through the ranks of Cobham, but didn't come through the ranks of Cobham even unlike someone like Mason Mount. Mason Mount was a Portsmouth fan. Mason Mount grew up and his dad is a Man United fan. Mason Mount went through the academy and he is a Chelsea boy when you take it into that context, 100%, and you can't take that away. But Conor Gallagher actually takes it one step further. He grew up a Chelsea fan. His family are Chelsea fans. He's blue through and through. Right now, at a time when there's no connection between fans and the club, right now where there's a complete disconnect, right now where there's a complete lack of, I hate to use the term because it's become a sort of cliche, but proper Chelsea. We're talking proper Chelsea, not just talking, the typical stadium goer who's, proper Chelsea. Like, not talking that. We're talking about someone that has the values that Chelsea fans can connect with. This club has been gutted out from head to toe. And any sort of thing, person or item, whatever it is, that fans had a genuine rapport with has been chopped away. And now Chelsea are in this position over the last 18 months where everything's been gutted out, the club has been turned upside down, even complete members of staff on all sorts of levels have been shifted, changed, kicked out, replaced. Some not even replaced. Nothing right now at the club feels like the Chelsea that many fans have come to know and love. So this is why, when they see a player like Conor Gallagher, right, who is proper Chelsea, right, the talk of having to let someone like that go because of pure profit, which goes hand in hand with the concern that fans have about the monetary gain that the owners and the directors are looking to get at Chelsea Football Club, possibly at the expense of the footballing side, is what doesn't sit right with many fans by just letting Conor Gallagher go. Now, this is where we get to the point of, is he actually good enough? Because much like Mason Mount, I had my concerns. And I was waiting for an upgrade. This is where the concern is with the fans that want to keep Conor Gallagher. If we let go of Conor Gallagher, does everyone actually think and believe that that money is going to be spent on getting an upgrade? Let's be honest with ourselves. Because I am now of the opinion, no, not a chance. I don't feel like, you know what I feel like is going to happen? I feel like we would get 30, 40 million. I don't even think we'll get 50 million, if I'm being honest, because 50 million is just a lot, right? I don't feel like clubs are going to pay. This may be what we want, but I don't feel like clubs are going to pay. But if we're going to let him go, and we're going to get, even if it's 50 million, let's say it's 50 million. It won't be, but let's say it is. Do we actually think we're going to take that 50 million, reinvest and get someone better? Get someone of quality. Get an upgrade. Do you actually believe that? I don't. But that's what I thought when we sold Mason Mount. I was like, yo, we're selling Mount, cool. A lot of money, let's get an upgrade. Let's get top quality. Let's bring that in. Like I said, some would argue that Enzo and Caicedo are it. Even though the positioning is different. Because Mount was more of where Gallagher plays now. And even playing along the front three sometimes. I mean, Mason Mount was playing everywhere. But anyway, you get the gist. Have we actually upgraded properly? No. Will we upgrade on Gallagher? I don't feel like we will. I feel like what will happen is that money will be used, taken as pure profit, thank you very much, and then we will, take bits and pieces and try and buy the next kid. And that's what doesn't sit well with fans that want to keep him. That's the big thing here. The big thing is that what's being sacrificed is the last piece of someone that lives and breathes this football club, which we've been stripped of at the expense of going maybe for another 17-year-old that no one knows about and we don't even know is going to make it. That's the concern. If it wasn't for that, if the club and the team had a proper, full-on, out-and-out quality team, I don't feel like there'll be much of a fuss in terms of letting Gallagher go. Because this is where we get to the other side now. Is Gallagher actually good enough? Let's be honest, right? I'm not someone that looks at Gallagher, even though I want him to stay, and I'll explain why. I'm not someone that looks at Gallagher and goes, yeah, flipping, he is everything we absolutely flipping need in this team. He's got all the technical ability, he's got all the physical ability, he is the most well-rounded midfielder we could ask for. No. At best, what I think Gallagher could be good in is a team with a high quality, right? And you use him as a squad player. I feel like he complements the squad really, really well because he brings attributes that a team needs at certain times, in certain moments, in certain games. And let's be honest here, if it wasn't for Gallagher, Pochettino wouldn't have been bailed out twice now. Gallagher's bailed Poch out twice. If we're talking in terms of the possibility of his job being under threat and the time in clutch that the goals came for Conor Gallagher to get the result Chelsea needed to ease the pressure a little bit. That is... Do I think Pochettino is being saved by Gallagher? Like, personally, probably not. I feel like at the end of the day, his job will probably come to an end in the summer if we do go for another manager. But anyway, Gallagher's been there to get the result just about over the line, right? But is he genuinely good enough to be at a top level where Chelsea should be operating? No. But what Chelsea have available right now and what Chelsea are using is basically all Chelsea got. Well, I'm talking in his position, the midfield. We're looking to Cole Palmer. He's contributing really well. Gusto's contributing really well. Even as of late, Nicholas Jackson is starting to get into a little bit of a stride. Cool. But we look at someone like Sterling, for example. Even though the numbers are actually kind of somewhat there when you look at the team, it's still underperforming because Chelsea are underperforming as a whole. Let's not bat an eye here. Let's not pretend this isn't happening. But Conor Gallagher, for what Chelsea have available right now, is of use. Now, if Chelsea are going to upgrade, if Chelsea are actually going to use that money and then go and get a proper top midfielder or top attacking midfielder, I'll give you an example, yeah? If it meant that we get Kudus in, like we could have and we didn't, if it meant we could have got Kudus in, right, and he's balling, then at that point, yeah, you got to ask questions about Gallagher. Makes sense. But like I said, in a top team, I'd still have him as a bench player. I'd still have him as a squad player. He works hard. He gives everything that he has. The effort is unquestionable. And it's something that the Chelsea fans relate with because right now what Chelsea fans are asking for in this situation is just give us your all. Leave 120% on there, please. Leave every blood, sweat and tear that you have. It's all fans can really ask for. And there's been many moments in this season where that's come under question. But that can never come under question for Conor Gallagher, because you can just know. It's his technical ability that's the problem. And this is where I say, yeah, on that front, he's not going to be good enough to be at the very, very, very best level, right? Which is what we should be striving for. So this is where we ask the question, should we let Conor Gallagher go? Fans that are saying, yeah, let him go, take the money. I get it. I understand it. And normally I would agree. But I don't have the trust in the club to go and actually get an upgrade. And I feel like we're going to be stripped off what we have even more. I feel like if we let Gallagher go, the bare minimum that we get with Gallagher is going to be thrown in the bin, and we're not even going to have anything at that point. That's the problem that I have here. Which is why I would actually like to keep him in the environment, just to keep him in the environment. Someone that does epitomise at least some of Chelsea's OG values, which is completely stripped and it's gone. And Thiago Silva's going to be leaving. We don't have any leaders whatsoever. Gallagher's not a leader, but he has some traits that at least we have, at least. You strip that away, we got nothing. Like, we actually have 0%. At that point, it's gone. Thiago Silva's going. If Gallagher were to go, he goes. And then what do? Sterling's not the leader. We're not going to get any seniors. What's going on? What have we left with? This is the problem. This is why there are Chelsea fans that are relating with Gallagher. If this was a Chelsea team at its best, right? Yeah, Gallagher would be lucky to get in the starting 11. Would be very lucky. That's the problem. Over the last few years, Chelsea were forced into a situation where we had a transfer ban and we had to turn to the academy. And it was the first instance where Chelsea turned to the academy since JT properly. JT was the last player properly that made it from the academy into the first team. After that, the transfer ban came and we called up. We were given little bits and pieces too. Hudson-Odoi and Loftus-Cheek, if you remember. But then, we turned to Tammy Abraham. We turned to Mason Mount. We turned to Reece James. We turned to Tomori. We turned to Billy Gilmore. We turned to all these guys. The list is actually quite endless. It's actually quite incredible, right? We ended up winning a Champions League with those guys. That's something huge, right? And that's what made it a little bit extra sweet and special. And it made us learn a lesson, in essence, of don't neglect your academy. There's players coming through, turn to them, look at them. And right now, in a time where every single bit of value at this club has been stripped, every single Chelsea value has been gutted, what have we got left? We turn to players that you know actually care about the club. Who do we have? We have Gallagher. We have Reece James. We have Levi Colwill. Gilchrist is probably one of the guys that you're looking at maybe to make it through next. Who's next? No one. Now, I'm not saying just call up anyone from the academy. They have to be good enough. But don't neglect the quality that the team needs, at least in order to be an inspiration for the academy lot to strive for. Because the way that we're going right now, without any actual quality in the team or actually bringing any, proper solidity, experience and pedigree to complement the young lads that we have that need to develop, you're in turn neglecting your academy because they don't have anyone to look up to. They're not going to develop either. Everything's going to stagnate. This is the problem. So this is why you got some Chelsea fans clinging on to Conor. Like, right now, we kind of need you, mate. That's the kind of thing. And for the ones that are saying, no, let him go, cool, I get it. And in a normal world, I would agree. But are you confident that we're going to upgrade on him? I don't trust the club. I don't trust them. I don't think we will. And in a weird world that we are in right now, I think we let go of Conor Gallagher, we somehow end up worse. Somehow. Normally it's not possible. Normally you look at a quality of like Conor Gallagher and you think, yeah, easily replaceable. You'd think, right? In terms of ability. I get it. But the way that we're running, the way we're operating, I think we get worse. That's the concern. So I hope that I've outlined both sides well enough. in order for both to understand each other a little bit. And that way they can build a little bit of a concourse here, to discuss, and a little bit of connectivity here. In order for both to understand where each other stand and try and understand the situation for what it is. And see where we go. But the overlying factor here, right? Everything I've just said could be made void because Chelsea are looking to sell him whether you like it or not. And they're going to take the pure profit and they're going to do nothing with it. So we're all screwed. We're all screwed in that case. Because the ones that don't want Conor Gallagher to go are going to have Conor Gallagher go. And the ones that want Conor Gallagher to go are going to see him go, but then they're going to have nothing to come in to replace him or actually bring in some sort of quality to justify the move. So we're all going to be screwed. So there we are. Let me know your thoughts down below on that and where you stand, and your thoughts on what I've mentioned for both sides and what you think is the best way forward. I do want to end on this as well. Conor Gallagher has the option here to just run out his contract. If he really wants to, run down his contract. But this is where it depends on Pochettino and whether he's still going to be at the club, because Pochettino's picking him. Pochettino is still in favour of playing Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher is the second most reliable player we have in the squad right now. Disasi is number 1. He's played the most minutes. Gallagher's number 2. He's played the second most minutes. Gallagher has also, if I'm not mistaken, 4 goals, 7 assists. It's up there in terms of the numbers with the players that are contributing for the team as of right now. And it's not a high level, let's be honest. We're not playing well. We're not competing at a level we should be competing at. But for what we have, this is what we got. And that's the problem that we have here. Are we willing to upgrade or not? If we're not, well, at least give us someone that cares. And that is Conor. So let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. And be here for the video later on where we go through the news and I explain everything in terms of the latest to do with Kendry Paez and Ecuador and the saga that's happened there, as well as all the other bits and pieces that are going to be dropping from now till later. Make sure you're here for that. Thank you all so much. Check out the socials on screen as well and in the description, and I'll catch all of you later on. Have a good one, people. In a bit. Take care and peace.